let's move out west. Let's go to the Seattle. Let's talk about a team that finished last year in 13th place on 23 points. An offseason of massive moves. There's the chance that from 2024 season kickoff to 2025, there could be 12 new players on the field for this Seattle side. They traded for Lindsey and Dolo, the big move, and Cassie Miller from Gotham. They brought in Madison Curry, hopefully as a starter, as a free agent. They signed some big NCAA rookies themselves in Emily Mason and one of the best, if not the best, prospects in Maddie Delian. On the way out, Jalen Howell in that trade. Quinn going to the new Northern Super League. Sarah King and Laurel Ivory, who we talked about before. And the big note for this team, this is the first season under their new ownership. They were sold from Lyon to Adrian Hanauer and the Seattle Sounders. Laura Harvey, in a press conference last week, said, I can't even describe. It's just massively, dramatically different heading into this preseason than I have felt over the last couple of years. That's off the field. Jordan, let's talk on the field.
Yeah, well, just a note on that. I mean, I feel like all three of us, Lori, Jill, we all talked about last year, when is Seattle going to make moves? And they couldn't do it because they didn't have the ownership to back them up. So it is a really good place for them to start. Last year at the beginning of the season, we actually saw Seattle start in a 4-4-2 diamond, and there was some really interesting things about that. It didn't work, so they reverted back to a 4-2-3-1. They'd like to utilize and attack their right back historically. This has been Sofia Huerta, try to get that back in the attack as much as possible and cross the ball. They are a cross-dominant team, structured defensively. You kind of know what you're going to get from Laura Harvey, and I think, Lori, this is the best question for this Seattle team is what is the evolution of what you get on the field, or how can you take what Laura Harvey has implemented with this team and just refine it a little bit? I think that is where they can be, and maybe Lynn Biondolo is the answer there, but I think there's questions about how they're going to play going into this season.
Yeah, there certainly are. The thing that I think of with Seattle is last year was so challenging, speaking to what Goss said with Laura Harvey's interview, and that was written all over this team's face, Laura Harvey's face. Like, it was, I think, just undoubtedly such a challenging year. So from that standpoint, and the competitor that Laura Harvey is, the longest tenured coach in the league, I think that she will be doing whatever she can. I think it'll feel like a huge relief to have the new ownership in place from the start. And from that standpoint, they're already going to be miles ahead. However, I think on the field, even though I think they've made some changes that are going to benefit them, Lynn Biondolo immediately is going to allow them something they didn't have again. And we've talked with a few different teams, is they didn't have anybody that could get in behind. So not only were they injury riddled, they were a slow team in every aspect. Sorry to say it, they just were. And they didn't have anybody that was counteracting at the time, Bethany Bolster or Jordan Heidema. It felt just like so many of the same players out on the field that didn't provide any sort of different dimension than them just trying to keep the ball. So Lynn Biondolo, I think, is a huge addition. Maddie Darlene from UNC. Listen, this is a bold statement, but this is not a direct comparison, everybody. So let's just see how this plays out. We can all point the finger at me. But this is going to be the closest to a Megan Rapinoe as a wide player that Seattle Reign has had. She was my favorite player in the College Cup last year with North Carolina. She has pace. She has the ability to run all day. She's savvy with the ball. She can come inside. She can play in the midfield. I think they'll utilize her in the wide areas. But this is, I believe that she'll be able to fit in immediately in this league with Seattle and at least add something that they don't have. My biggest question mark is defensively. You get Lauren Barnes, she's not going to be able to play the full season. And we saw that last year. She's picked up more injuries. Jess Fishlock's not going to be able to play the whole season. Madison Curry is an upgrade. She had an excellent rookie year with Angel City. Now could be the starting left back. But I do centrally and just the other positions on that back line for a team that we've known that's been extremely stingy and built defensively. I just don't know what this team is going to look like to start this 2025 campaign.
I completely echo what you said. I'm excited for Maddie Deline. I think she has the ability to make defenders look like absolute holograms on a field in those wide spaces. I am worried about how are we transitioning this team from the Fishlocks and the Lou Barnes to those younger players, and then defensively massive question marks, because this has been a team that has always been successful because of their defensive stinginess, and I'm not sold on Claudia Dickey, and I surmise that we will see Cassie Miller play for this team at some point.
Yeah, I just want to add, because you made a really good point when we were talking individually, Jill, about Cassie Miller, and to the point that we talked about with Ann Katrin-Berger, how she did fit in with Gotham. Well, Cassie Miller, excellent goalkeeper, just her profile, not totally fitting in with Gotham, but very much could with the Seattle Reign team, and we could see a resurgence from her.
Yeah, I think she provides reliability. I mean, she's a 7 out of 10 every game. She doesn't concede soft goals. Maybe she doesn't make that, worldy save, but she is consistently a 7 out of 10 every single game. And as a goalkeeper, knowing what you're going to get is really important.
Well, I think for Seattle, the hope is that they've got strong partnerships. Have a partner like a Jordan Angeli who picks you up when you don't know how to spell in the alphabet, and you put San Diego after Seattle, even though that's not the way it's supposed to be set up.